This is a cautionary tale about the time I told myself I wouldn't fall into a particular trap, and then proceeded to do exactly that while falling into an even worse situation. Hello everyone, my name's Aloubell, and once upon a time, years before I even became a YouTuber, I would watch other YouTubers review shows, movies, video games. The reviewers I watched the most were the My Little Pony analysts. These were a group of people who would review the new episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic each week that they came out. Their channels were solely dedicated to MLP. It was a fun time, and I enjoyed hearing different people's opinions and experiencing all of the different personalities. As someone who had no one else in real life to talk about my favorite show to, this was the best outlet. But then one day, something happened. After 9 years, some spin-off movies, a theatrical release, and over 200 episodes, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic came to an end. And eventually, the reviews stopped as MLP lost its relevance. And what did I do? Well, I stopped watching those channels almost immediately. I didn't find value in them beyond MLP content. Don't get me wrong, I really liked their personalities and charisma, but for some reason or another, I didn't want to stick around if they didn't discuss MLP anymore. And I'm not the only one. Many others left as well, and those channels never saw the same views that they did before. Many of them fell off and never truly recovered. It's sad, but that's how it was. I internalized this experience and moved on with my life and turned to other content creators for entertainment. A little time went by and I decided to start my own YouTube channel. I told myself that I would not fall into the same trap as those MLP channels. I had realized what their flaw was. They made the mistake of making their channels exclusively about My Little Pony. By doing that, they set a countdown for their channels. The moment MLP ended was the moment their topics stopped trending and their channel's popularity faded. I didn't like the idea of that happening for my channel, so I set some rules for myself. I would talk about the things I care about, and I would vary my content. Make it evergreen. However, it didn't take long for me to hit a snag. When I made the type of videos I wanted, no one cared. And I made a few of them, worked really hard on them. I even did my research on how to have attractive thumbnails and titles. And yet, it all seemed to be for naught. But then, I made a Miraculous Ladybug video. It was a show I didn't care about, and a show I had never seen. I only thought it worth mentioning because it reminded me of a show that I did actually care about called Shugokara. This particular video that I made also initially didn't do well, but 2 or 3 months later, it mysteriously blew up and I was getting so much attention. People cared. A lot. Boy, did they care. So I decided that it wouldn't hurt to make a few more Miraculous Ladybug reviews. Just to get some more eyes on my channel. But I wasn't a Miraculous Ladybug channel. I just make those reviews, get the audience, and then proceed to talk about whatever I wanted. I made a new Miraculous Ladybug video. I got more subscribers and views. I made another. I got positive feedback. I did a Miraculous Ladybug collab video. I got so many subs. Down the hole I went, and yet I'd still say that I wasn't a Miraculous Ladybug channel. I'd say that not just because I didn't like Miraculous. I said that so that I could convince myself that I still wouldn't run into the same problem that the MLP analysts did. Unfortunately, anytime I try to deviate from Miraculous Ladybug and talk about things I actually like, since, I'm not a fan of Miraculous, surprise, surprise, my engagement tanked and I got less views. Time went by and I sunk deeper and deeper into a hole that feels almost impossible to climb out of. I kept telling myself over and over that I wasn't too deep yet. But I was just lying to myself. I had fallen into the trap I said I would never fall into, because I was enamored by the bait of views and subscribers. I was so desperate to end my day job and start my life as a content creator, or a creator of any kind, that I was willing to sacrifice a bit of my integrity. The only difference between me and the My Little Pony analysts is that they at least loved the topic they were talking about. I didn't. I don't. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't downright miserable. For a while, it was fun pointing out everything wrong with Miraculous Ladybug. And there are a lot of things wrong. But getting acknowledged for only that was frustrating. It is frustrating, and I've approached the point where I just don't want to do it anymore. So now we're at the end of the story. Where does that leave me? That leaves me with an audience and an algorithm full of expectations of me, but I can no longer match those expectations. For all the new YouTubers listening, I was so focused on one problem that I denied the bigger one that was destroying me. While yes, it is of my personal opinion that if one wants to be monetized on YouTube and thrive as a full-time content creator, they shouldn't have their YouTube channel exclusively focused on one thing, especially if that one thing has a time limit or an ending point to it. The one time I personally think it's okay to focus on one thing is if that thing will basically never end, unless the world does. For example, if your channel is all about basketball's not going anywhere anytime soon, so you're probably safe. Other things like TV shows have a limit. Eventually they'll end, and I didn't want to experience losing my relevancy. I was scared that my channel would face the same issue as the MLP analysts. But it was more than that. Just like how I and many others didn't stick around to see what the MLP analysts would do after Friendship is Magic ended, I feared that people only liked me for Miraculous. What value did I have beyond that? And in a way, at least in my case, I was right. Without Miraculous Ladybug, I got less attention. On any other topic I wanted to discuss, no one cared. Not in the same way. Sure, there were a couple times where a few non-Miraculous Ladybug videos popped off, but they very quickly lost their relevancy. They would just never fully match the attraction of Miraculous Ladybug. And I didn't like that. It was really disheartening. It suggested that people didn't like me for my personality, but for Miraculous Ladybug. This is why my suggestion would be for people to vary their content. And I don't mean have one video be about cooking, and another about going to the mall, another about gaming, and another about doing someone's hair. No, you still need some consistency so that the algorithm can figure you out and find the right audience for you. What I actually mean is that if you're going to be a gamer, play multiple games. If you're going to be a reviewer, review different shows and movies. If you like to cook, cook multiple recipes. Don't only play Minecraft. Don't only review Miraculous Ladybug. Don't only cook apple pies. I don't know. The cook one was a bit weird because No Cook only uploads one recipe. I just needed a third example, but you get the point. I suggest you vary the different things you talk about in your niche so that you have value to others beyond that one thing, so that they stay loyal to you because of you and not because of what you're talking about. And even if that problem of not being valuable to others isn't the case, even if you do have a loyal audience, the algorithm simply isn't on your side if you deviate from your norm. Your audience may never even see that different video you upload because the algorithm may think that they don't want to see it. Of course, every channel situation is different. Like I said, there are some situations where talking about one thing can work out, as it'll always be relevant. And even if it isn't trending, you can still keep the audience around who still cares about that topic long past a show or whatever has ended. There's no guarantee if you talk about only one thing that your viewers don't get attached to you. Many do get attached, but there's no denying that what happened to the MLP analysts and myself happened. They dropped off, and without Miraculous, I'll drop off. But I fully intend on rebuilding, and I know some of those My Little Pony analysts had the same thought to try other things. I'm not sure how well they're doing now, but I pray things have gotten better. The other problem I experienced was even worse than all that because, like I said earlier, the MLP analysts were at least talking about what they liked. I never liked Miraculous Ladybug and only reviewed it because it made people notice me. Sure, I like the concept of Miraculous, but the show itself? No. So don't make content exclusively based on what other people want to see. It may bring in views, but it's not worth it at the end of the day. You'll only make yourself miserable. Yes, you should make content on what others like. You are providing a service after all, and you want to attract people to your content. But you also need to care about what you make as well. It's a balance that you need to experiment with and discover. I'm making this video so that you don't make the same mistake I did. I want you to succeed and have the best chance at this whole YouTube thing. And I also want you to have fun. It may take a while for you to reach your goal, but don't get discouraged and don't give up. It's hard, but so is learning any new skill. And being a YouTuber requires a lot of skills, some more obvious than others. So be patient, be kind to yourself, learn from your mistakes, but also learn from the mistakes of others. Don't trap yourself, but if you do, then I'm right there with you. Let's climb out of it together. Please understand me. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, and I don't want to guilt anyone. I did this to myself because of my own impatience, and now I basically have to start over from the ground up to have the kind of channel I always wanted. Make no mistake though, God has been exceptionally good to me, and I wouldn't have gotten as far as I have without him. I'm grateful for my time with Miraculous Ladybug, and all of the invaluable skills and lessons that I've learned about being a YouTuber throughout my time reviewing it. But that chapter of my life is over. Climbing out of this hole will be hard, and my channel will suffer for it for a while. Heck, it's already begun. My channel hasn't grown much for the past few months, and I think now is the best time to reinvent myself. Of course, it would be so great if it happens sooner rather than later, but God's plan is perfect, so I trust in him. With his help, I believe I can thrive and bring this channel back to what it was always supposed to be. Me talking about the movies, shows, games, etc. that I care about, and even throwing in some story time opportunities in there, all while drawing, of course. Aside from my miraculous rewrite, Bonds Beyond Fate, I don't want to talk about Miraculous Ladybug anymore. If I keep on talking about the show that I don't care about and having to rely on that for my channel, I no doubt burn out and quit YouTube. I guess you can say I'm retiring from reviewing the show. Again, let me reiterate, Bonds Beyond Fate will continue. I've grown an attachment to this story and I want to see it through. I'm really sorry to disappoint those who are here just for Miraculous Ladybug reviews and discussions, but there are other channels better than me to cover this show. So if you decide to leave, I understand. However, if you decide to stay, I'll deeply appreciate it, and I promise it'll be worth your while. And so, if you enjoyed this video, just remember that I'm the artistic Aloubell. I review things, I rant sometimes, and rewrite stories occasionally. I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and joined the family of bells where we chill in the bell tower, adhere to the golden rule, and use cookies as our currency. If any part of this video spoke to you, feel free to leave a comment and a cookie. But as for now, that's all there is. There isn't any more.